first experience with an accident was actually prior to being in law enforcement. It was a number of years ago. My brother was in high school, and I had just left high school, started in college, and there was a friend of mine that I was with that evening, and she got a phone call that her relative had been in an accident. We arrived on the scene, and then I realized that my brother was actually in that vehicle too. The accident was a result of the driver drinking that night and very dangerous conditions. So he passed away that night, and that experience has kind of stuck with me and has certainly been a driving force behind a lot of the programs that we've initiated here in the county since I've taken over as sheriff. One of those being the traffic unit that will go out and aggressively enforce all traffic laws, and we have just received a grant recently for 2 officers that will do nothing but look for intoxicated drivers, which, you know, being intoxicated and texting and driving and just distracted drivers in general are causing a lot of problems, a lot of collisions and a lot of fatalities on our roadways. And that's the message that we want to get out, that you can't be too careful while driving on our roads, because what you do may not hurt you, but it may kill someone else.
Texting while driving causes over 1.5 million accidents per year. It causes 330,000 injuries per year. It causes 11 teen deaths every single day, and it is nearly 25% of all car accidents. I'm Jennifer Beasley, and I'll be your host for this month's episode of Community Spotlight, focused on the impact of texting and driving. With the help of the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office, we've decided to take a deeper look into texting and driving and the risks that come with it. Not only has this topic taken headlines all over the United States, but it has affected residents specifically right here in Brunswick County. For the next 30 minutes, we'll take a look into texting and driving by sitting down with Sheriff John Ingram to discuss the issue and their campaign of Don't Text and Drive. We then visit Brunswick Community College to investigate students and real experiences that involve distracted driving. Don't go anywhere, because we have the statistics and the answers to keep you and your family safe on our roads. Joining us now is Sheriff John Ingram with the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you here to talk a little bit about the Don't Text and Drive campaign and just the importance of people's, cooperation with that, not to text and drive.
Yes.
First, to get started, tell me a little bit about what your tasks are every day as the sheriff.
Well, dealing with victims and dealing with a lot of people at the Sheriff's Office. We have well over 230 people that work at the Sheriff's Office, and with that, along with that, a detention facility that can house 477 inmates with a medical staff and all of the issues that come along with running such a facility. But I can tell you that I'm truly honored to be able to serve as sheriff, because we have a lot of great people, not only at the Sheriff's Office, that are willing to work together, and even during tough economic times like this, we have a lot of fantastic citizens in our county that are willing to pitch in and help, many times supplementing areas that within the Sheriff's Office and within the community that we would be unable to deal with without their help. And it just concretes the idea in my mind that we truly live in one of the best places in the country. Mm-hmm. And it's a pleasure every day. Even though we have our headaches or ups and downs, it's still a pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like you deal with a lot as the sheriff of Brunswick County, and one of those things is, and why we're here today, is to talk about the texting and driving. Earlier, you shared a story actually about drinking and driving, about your brother and how you lost your brother, which thank you for sharing that. But, you know, I find it interesting that it's not just drinking and driving that people need to be aware of. Texting and driving can be just as fatal, in fact. Do you see a lot of accidents or anything happening in Brunswick County due to that, even just minor, you know, fender benders or things like that?
We do. From distracted driving is an issue that we see daily, unfortunately. However, I do feel like that the Don't Text and Drive campaign is really working and driving that message home to our younger people. Most importantly, there's a few things that they don't realize, though, is that there's a lot of things that go along with that law that a lot of people have overlooked.
Really?
One being the fact that if you're under the age of 18, you cannot use a cell phone in any way while driving. That's against the law. You can't use a Bluetooth. It can't be connected through the vehicle itself. Some vehicles you can connect it through the internal speakers. In no way there is nothing that they can do as far as a cell phone or use of a cell phone that is legal at that age, up until that point. So we want to make sure that our younger people are aware of the fact that they cannot be on the cell phone. And the best thing for them to do if they're going to be driving and they need to let their parents know is simply give them a phone call, let them know that they're going to be in the vehicle driving and where they're headed to and what time they expect to be there. And then that way if something happens, then the parents would know where to go and look for them.
All right. Now, is that because, I mean, I know when driving in the car, when you're on the phone, whether you're holding it in your hand or, you know, you have it on speakerphone or whatever it might be, it just seems that, you know, your mind's, it doesn't matter if you're holding it in your hand, your mind's not quite there while you're talking on the phone. Your mind's not focused on the road. Is that why that law is in effect? Or?
Yes. One of the reasons, if you think about it, the younger drivers, they're still trying to get more comfortable behind the wheel, and they have very limited experiences to pull from as far as driving at that point. And any type of distraction, whether holding a conversation on the phone or even in the car, could distract their mind away from something that would be critical on the roadway. And unfortunately, that causes a lot of wrecks in our state.
Yeah. Now, how long have you guys been doing this, specifically the Don't Text and Drive campaign?
I think it's right at 2 years now.
2 years?
2 years. And we, as far as the texting and driving, we've had very minimal issues with that. I think that the campaign has really helped distract or deter people from the use of cell phones, texting, and driving. So we certainly feel like that campaign has been a positive influence on our drivers.
Up next, we visit Brunswick Community College to witness the Sheriff's Office's Texting and Driving Symposium. We speak with Emily Flax of ATMC Wireless, First Sergeant Tommy Tolley of the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office, and students Hunter Riddle and Mike Matthews of Brunswick Community College.
We're here today with Emily Flax, Wireless Business Sales Representative for ATMC Wireless in Brunswick County. Thank you for being here today.
You're quite welcome.
We're focusing on texting and driving and the dangers of texting and driving, and I know that's really a heartfelt cause for ATMC. Why don't you tell us ATMC's beliefs on texting and driving?
Well, obviously, we want to do our part to keep the citizens of Brunswick County safe, and part of that is educating them on the dangers of texting and driving, as well as distracted driving. Every time a customer comes in and opens up a new phone, there's going to be a little sticker on one of their phones that says "Don't text and drive."
Right. It's such a huge, prevalent issue, I think, not just in our county, but in our country, really. And I know that you guys are partnering with the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office. Tell us a little bit about that relationship and your partnership.
Well, we do provide wireless communications to Brunswick County Sheriff's Office. We know that they're out on the streets every day protecting our citizens, and we just wanted to do our part by also, educating the citizens on the dangers of texting and driving. I know that if you were to ask any of the men and women on road patrol, they would say one of the saddest things that they have to see is coming on an accident that involves perhaps a teenager that's been texting and driving, because it is so senseless.
We're here with First Sergeant Tolley of the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office. Thanks for being with us
Thank you.
today. Tell us what you do with the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office.
Well, I'm a first sergeant in the crime prevention unit at the Sheriff's Office, and I've been in that position for about a year now.
Okay. Tell us about your texting campaign that you guys are doing.
Great. Well, we've combined the impaired driving simulator along with the texting campaign to try to show the dangers of distracted driving and impaired driving, and obviously the dangers that come with both of those.
Absolutely. So what are you doing today on the campus of BCC?
Well, today we've combined the No Texting and Driving campaign along with the Impaired Driving Simulator campaign, and we've brought it to the college here at BCC to try to educate the students and the faculty and anyone that wishes to participate and driving our simulator through the course, sober, not texting, and then we give them the Fatal Vision goggles, which simulates an impairment, and then we'll also challenge them on texting while they're driving through the course. And they get to see the casualties, simulated casualties, of what all of those situations could cause.
We're here with Hunter Riddle, a student at BCC, for the Don't Text and Drive campaign put on by ATMC Wireless in the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So we wanted to ask, you're about to do the driving simulator, and before we do that, we've got some shots, or we'll get some shots of you, driving and everything like that. But tell us, do you text and drive?
I have before.
You have?
A couple times.
Okay, yeah, I think everybody's guilty of it, especially before they put the laws into place and everything.
Of course,
yeah.
yes ma'am.
Do you think that maybe you're better than the average driver at texting and driving?
I would think so. I mean, I can text without looking at my phone, so.
Yeah. So do you mostly text and drive when you're by yourself in the car or with people in the car?
Probably more by myself, because when other people are in the car, I get them to text for me.
Okay. Have you ever had any accident or maybe hit a curb or something?
No, definitely not.
Okay, one of the lucky ones. How do you think you're going to do on the driving simulator?
It looks fun, so I mean, I'm pretty good at hand-eye coordination type things, so I think I'm going to do pretty well.
All right, well, let's see how you do.
Yes ma'am.
I'm here with Mike Matthews, the SGA president at Brunswick Community College. Mike, thanks for having us today.
Not a problem.
Now, you and your executive council are responsible for bringing this event with the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office and ATMC here today. Tell us why you wanted to do that.
We want to show the awareness of how the DWI and texting while driving shows to these students that it's a good thing you should be doing, especially on the roads. Texting and driving is the same as if you're drinking behind the wheel.
Right.
And students have seen today that they're actually, doing bad things on the roads.
Right,
That's great.
right. Yeah, I guess they were saying that every cone kind of represents either a person or just some sort of obstacle in the way, and it looks like we're not having too good of success here with driving. But now I know in a little bit you're about to do the course. Do you text and drive?
I have, but I have not since I've gotten the iPhone, because it's kind of harder since it's a flat, touchscreen.
It is difficult, yeah.
I used to do it when I had the keyboard because it was a lot easier going down Highway 17, but as you get older, you realize what you're doing, and
right.
so.
So are you excited to do the course?
I am.
How do you think you'll do?
Maybe a little bit better than that.
Okay. Do you think you're kind of better than the average texter maybe while you're driving?
I don't know what you would say an average texter would be.
Maybe hitting 3 mailboxes at a time, or no? I'm
Maybe
kidding.
a curb once in a while.
Okay, okay. Alrighty, well, we're about to see how you do, so good luck.
Thank you.